Hey, Ayushree, hi.
Hi, Jagat.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You seem to have settled down in a new place.
Sorry?
You seem to have settled down in a new place. You got a different background.
Yeah. It's
Are you at home
it's
or
my
are
other
you at
office,
work?
the other
All
office.
right. So we are live.
Yeah.
Great to see you and great to
Yes.
be back with the Vidphone Show. So quickly, how's
Yes.
been your day?
Good. Good day. Hectic a little, but good overall. Yeah.
All right.
How about you? How was it?
Oh yeah, it's been a hectic day. I've been a little bit over and about, but yeah,
Yeah.
kind of finally settled down. So good
Yeah.
to see. Uh,
Yes.
this is going to be going out on Facebook. So wherever people are watching us,
Yeah.
the whole idea of this new, or rather, we are reinvigorating the series,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Vidphone Show. So
Yeah.
uh, just to give you some context and just to introduce the folks,
Yeah.
Ayushree, she'll probably introduce herself a little bit, but she's recently joined our team, part of the
Yes.
Vidphone crew or the Vidphone mission.
Yes.
And yeah, Ayushri, over to you a little bit, and then I'll take over for the module. Yeah,
Yes, yes. So, hello everyone. Like Jagat said, I have just joined Vidphone, and it's been about 2 weeks, I think. Less than that, lesser than 2 weeks, but yeah. So wonderful to be here. Wonderful. It's still in a very initial stage, but really learning and getting to know what's happening. And I have joined Vidphone as associate VP business. So I'm handling the business, sales, marketing, that side. So for anything that you might have, please feel free to reach out to me. And I have my previous stint involved working with a lot of women entrepreneurs and in the startup ecosystem. So I was at CWE, that's Catalyst for Women Entrepreneurship, for the last 4 years, and have been working with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially women, early stage, growth stage, various industries, and in supporting them, helping them grow in a proper incubator. Also, I was handling the incubator, crucial partnerships, and events and everything. So yeah, I wanted to do something in the tech space. I think I wanted to move there, and I think I've known Jagat for like 3 years now. We were at NASCOM, similar ecosystem, but then different companies that time. And finally, after 3 years, I have decided to join Vidphone and take the mission forward. Yeah.
super, and
Thank.
build the mission as well. The mission is constantly
Build the
being built.
mission as well.
Chetak,
Yes. Yes.
hi to
Yeah.
Chetak. So Chetak, wonderful to have you again, my friend, and thanks. Yeah, it's awesome to kind of rekindle a lot of these initiatives. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think again, this comes out of need, from a lot of things that I'm seeing, that friends of mine are seeing.
Yeah.
So I think it's always good to have a conversation, and also to involve a lot of wonderful folks like Chetak, and Akhil also is there backstage. I mean, backstage, so he's also
Yeah.
always involved in what we are doing. So it's wonderful to see so many people all kind of moving towards this ecosystem. So maybe I would just directly jump in, or you have any other notes that you want to
No,
share,
Jagat.
Ayushri?
No, Jagat. We can start.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's get into this module.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'll just share my screen.
Yes.
All right, so we all use Canva. We love Canva. So let's kind of full screen this. All right. Is that good, Ayushri?
Yes, Jagat.
All
It's
right.
good.
Okay. So everybody, welcome again to the Vidphone Show. I'm really happy to be, again part of these initiatives. We did these, along with Vijeta Shastri. We also ran various other, shows. One of them recently that we did was the Hybrid Theory, which we again brought back. So Hybrid Theory, the Vidphone Show, and some more coming forward. So the whole idea of these kind of initiatives, or these webinars, live streams, call it what you want, is really to start a conversation around how things are going to kind of look up from here, right? So uh, all right, so welcome again. And today's topic is the top 3 tools for hybrid work.
Yeah.
And of course, we're part of every Crave, and I'm really, really proud of the kind of different work that we do. Uh, just kind of set the agenda for today, right? To kind of
Yeah.
get things going. So there'll be an introduction. I'll talk about the hybrid age. Uh, 3 years ago and today, right? I would look at 2020 and today, what's actually changed. And
True.
then we would look at, something called unscheduling, which I think is very important, especially in these times of instant gratification, right? We live in a different era.
Yeah.
Then we would get to the three tools. What I believe and what we believe are important tools. They're called the probably the best tools, top three tools. But of course, there are other tools as well. And based on context, the best or the top three could change. But generic, kind of approach that I've taken here to present three tools. And of course, how someone can get empowered. And then, of course, the questions and the answers after that. So let me introduce ourselves a little bit. So, a little bit about our company, a little bit about what we do. We are every crave, and we've been around for quite a while. Really seen from the early days of the startup ecosystem here in India to today, where probably I've seen at least about 10 to 15 years of this evolution. I would say to get to this stage as a kind of startup ecosystem, and our focus is very much on video, right? So we're a very video focused company. At least over the past half a decade, it's what our focus has been. uh, so some of these products that we build, like Hawk or a Charaka or a Vbot or Vidphone, and we have other products as well. Most of these are products that we believe are probably first in class, but more importantly, these are there to solve some very relevant new age problems that exist. Right, these problems probably didn't exist some time back, and we're a very proud Indian company. So we have that tagline there that says "Inspired by India, building for the world." But honestly, we could be building also and inspired from anywhere. We take inspiration from anywhere. But I think with an India focus, considering that our audience and a lot of our friends are all Indians, I think it relates that we kind of talk about India also, especially in these times. A little bit about me. So yeah, I'm the founder and CEO. I'm an engineer from NIT Prayagraj. I should probably change that. Allahabad. We used to Allahabad, but it's Prayagraj. So been an engineer through and through. Past 15 years, all of my focus has been on building technology, be it web, mobile, be it hardware, related stuff, digital campaigns and transformation. So really, that's been a lot of what I do. Apart from work, of course, I like cricket. I'm a former state level cricketer. Amateur golfer, I would say, but yeah, that's taken a bit of a hit. But and also I love playing guitars and music, of course. So uh, we also have, as you know, with us today, Ayushree, who's also part of the team, Akhil, who's also a co-founder with us. So all of us together are, I think, it's wonderful to actually work with all of my colleagues as well. So we're also backed by some wonderful early investors. These are guys who kind of who we met along the way, and there was a kind of synergy, and we kind of also have them as our investors. Uh, we won some awards. We won the NIPP award for telecom. We won the CE Worldwide Emerging Unicorn. Recently, we also won the Elevate by grant from the government of Karnataka. We're also part of the STPI cohort. So really, we also have a large support system, and I think they also play a role in things we do. Uh, so that's a quick, synopsis of our company, and we also proudly incubated NASCOM 10,000 startups. We love that place. I've also been part of Thai, and also a shout out to the Karnataka startup ecosystem. The KDEM and Startup Karnataka and teams like that. So I think it's really. I also want to thank this community of that we have around us, especially in Bangalore and the tech ecosystem, because they've helped a lot along the journey. Right. So this is the big drop, right? This is the hybrid age is upon us. Right? This might seem like uh, I don't know, like a brand new world, right? So I think all of us would understand. Past 3 years, we've seen a lot of change. Right, life is not the same in 2019 as it was now. Ayushri, what do you think? Are you there?
Certainly, yes, yes, Jagat. Certainly, I feel, I was just telling you the other day, right? Like hybrid is the way to go. I
Mhm.
think whether we like it or not, I think it was in a way thrown up, not even hybrid, like remote was thrown upon us when COVID struck. And now we are at that stage where hybrid is the way forward. Like we have been seeing it on our everyday work. So yes, that this is the new reality that and it has its pros and cons, I would say. And but now taking it as a positive thing, that's what we are discussing today, like how we can
Exactly.
use this new form of work or new form of life and make it like take advantages out of that. So yes,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And also, hi, Sudeep. Nice to see you, my friend, and really, really happy that you're joining us. Do spread the good word, Sudeep, Chetak. I think wonderful to have all of you, and hopefully more and more people join us as we do this going forward. So, I'll get back to my presentation. So we have this new feature there, the comments, which is quite interesting. People should check it out. So you always know what's happening. All right. So yeah, we've seen that the hybrid age is upon us, and but we mind 3 years back to 2020. And I remember that we were doing pretty much the same thing. We were still doing video conferencing and webinars because I always have this. From 2016, our mission has been to kind of empower a lot of people with video, and very specifically in India, where we have less than 10% of people know English. So it's critical that video is the big technology that would kind of organize the unorganized, right? And we have a lot of unorganized sectors in India, which I believe can be organized through technology. So we've been doing pretty much the same thing, though it's kind of evolved. But when you look at the world, I mean, of course, after the coronavirus, the pandemic, uh, things changed drastically, and video saved the day, right? Whether it was Vidphone at some level, or other companies that people are used to using. uh, this was not that widespread in 2018, 19 also, right? Though you would have some people, boardrooms, and people using video conferencing, but it was not like a telephone call. Today a video call has become almost as easy as telephone call, and that's, to me, building this over the past 6, 7 years, 8 years, I think it's a dream come true, right? So video has really saved the day, and I think we've seen something that uh, happened at the right time, right? We really don't know how Zoom was right there, and we were building this, and other companies were building, Microsoft and Google with Teams and Meet, and everybody was working on this video technology. And the coincidence, that you have the coronavirus pandemic, and everybody has to work from home and communicate from home, get married from home, and you name it. So it is really, to me, I look at it with great shock that things happened exactly at that time. And even if you look at 2018, I don't think there was even any kind of uh, deep penetration of video. But what's happened is that we have seen it's what we call a hammer and nail approach versus a Swiss Army knife approach, right? So they say that to a person with a nail, to a person with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And we try and address this issue, or most people. I would say that Vidphone, we've kind of done it differently, but life has become today about scheduled meetings, and that's the big problem, right? So today, for everything, there is a scheduled video meeting. Now, right from the beginning, from the very early days, our philosophy was very, very different, right? It was still about a URL, it was about a link, but that link was something that was a lot more human readable, something that was permanent, something that was yours, right? Like vidphone.me/Jagat, or vidphone.me/Ayushree, or Sudeep, or so it's really about like your telephone number or your email address, something that is yours, and something that is permanent, and something that is what we call cross operable, which means that if I'm on Airtel, I can call you on Vodafone, and I can mail you on Gmail if I'm on Yahoo and stuff like that. Somehow video has gone totally differently, and and we know also why that's happened, but it will definitely change going forward. Everyone will have their own personalized video ID or video address, video with phone number, you call it what you want, but you will have a unique personal link, and this increasingly will become your identity, also through facial recognition, and it becomes a ubiquitous ID, which also kind of connects into your wallet, and your whole ecosystem is built around that. So somehow I think there's been some disconnect, and uh, people have gotten completely into the habit of doing scheduled video meetings. Now I don't do that on phone calls. right? Uh, I may do it when I'm meeting somebody, but on a phone call, you typically just pick up the phone and call. And now that is what actually life is about. When you think about it, though life does not unfold in a scheduled, planned manner. Though there are some things that you can be sure of, which is that you can be 100% sure that tomorrow morning the sun is going to be out rising in the east. But apart from that, I think there's very little certainty about tomorrow, right? All I can be really sure about is that the sun is going to rise. To me, east is this side, and definitely the sun's going to be there. But beyond that, I have absolutely no clue, and nobody should, especially after 2020 and all of this. We should understand that the world has its own pace at which things happen, and we have tried to fit the whole, mechanism or the clockwork of the universe into scheduled video meetings. So that, I think, has been the issue, and we need to understand that life is serendipitous, and it's also asynchronous. So serendipity, the simple thing, Ayushree and I are sitting here, and I think it is serendipity that we were kind of almost next to each other, sitting on in NASCOM. That's how we met. We met at the coffee coolers, sorry, at the water coolers, at the coffee machine, stuff like this, and that's what makes things happen, right? It's what we call good chance happenings. Uh, Somehow, when you look at only this scheduled approach, uh, it's kind of never ever have a situation of a good chance meeting or a good chance encounter. So uh, serendipity is something that I think is going to, is very, very important. That's going to be part of hybrid work going forward, and asynchronous. Now, now when we're doing this video meeting, uh, everyone needs to be online at the same time, right? We have to kind of be available at the same time, and everything is happening at the same time. But let's think about, let's say, a video. Let's think about an email I sent, or a voice note, right? So you send that out, and then people can read it and kind of think about it and get back in their own time. Uh, I think a lot of the world are also people who may not be able to react immediately, and I think we're losing a lot of those people when we just stick to only one form of two-way communication. So things like email and voice, so asynchronous. So can we embrace, or can we bring together uh, people who are also not able to contribute maybe spontaneously, but they have a lot to contribute. Sorry, maybe after some thinking and some meditation on that. So these are things that I think are big. If I look at the problem statements today, uh, I would say that we're not equipped today to handle the hybrid work culture, simply because we're not ready for good chance encounters. And life is about good chance encounters, right? As simple as that. In fact, the days are very similar. I don't know if Ayushri, you've been at the time where we have PCO, telephone calling booth, the booth, telephone booth.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
so I was in hostel. I remember when I was, you know, at NIT. Uh, of course, those days we didn't even have mobile phones in the beginning. I think first year, second year, I don't even think we had mobiles. It hadn't yet been, as penetrated. Maybe third year, final year, I think that's when they started kind of becoming more mass market. But we would have queues outside the hostel. There was one PCO booth outside the hostel, and you would have a queue every weekend because everyone wants to talk to their parents back home, and it's a long queue, right? And some people, just go on and on. So uh, those were crazy days. That's what I call by scheduled meetings or scheduled calls. And you would hear the sound, the beeper go off when the time is kind of getting over, and you would put the coin more, and then you would continue talking. It reminds me of 40-minute time limit. So it's kind of strange that we still think of communications in this way. So that will change, and how that changed is of course what all of us know. Instead of PCOs, people had landlines already, which had permanent number in the house, and then everyone had mobile phones and they carried the mobile number in their pocket, and that's how the evolution happens. So I think the same thing is playing out today, where you have scheduled meetings. We are in the PCO telephone booth generation. Soon we'll go where you have a permanent line, maybe for your company, maybe for your family, whatever, or maybe we skip that whole curve and go straight to everyone's own personal video address or link. Now, this is the most important thing, because that's when what all of us are in today. Everyone, we live in a world of instant gratification, right? If and today, really, there's a joke. If you really want to test somebody's patience, just decrease their internet speed, right? So if you just wait a little longer till the request kind of is processed, people get really angry. So I think today we have got into that attention economy and instant gratification that uh, the scheduled things are just gone, right? I feel it's very, very way in the past. So unschedule is the big message, and I would, maybe it could be deschedule. I don't know, one of the two. But the overall idea is that to be more in a position to react than to act, right? Uh, all right, so here we get here. So maybe I'll just quickly break. Ayushree, your thoughts, on this, and Chandni, hi, thanks for joining us. Good to see you again. And yep, over to you, Ayushree. Your thoughts.
Yeah, no, Jagat, like I think what we have been talking about, right? And I think at Vidphone also, somewhere we are trying to build that, right? How we can give everyone the permanent video address at one point of
Hmm.
time, I think. And,
No, one
that's
point
the
of time,
main.
it's there right now.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
that
in a way that,
it's already there.
everyone starts
Yeah,
adapting to it, it's there, but, how people
absolutely.
use email or phone, I mean, that
Oh yes,
awareness. And,
that's why
they
you're
say
here now.
how easy, yeah, exactly. And they say how easy it is. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not another downloads or another. I mean, things like that. But it just makes life easier. Like,
I think
all
you've
the
also
things you
used
were.
recently. I think you
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have used what we do. But anyway, I'll get to the product later. We won't talk
Yes,
too much about
yes,
which phone
yes.
because I don't want it to be a sales pitch.
Uh,
That we can do
no, 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 no. I was
later.
just saying when we talk about, like how unscheduled it has to, life has to go back to unscheduled. And I think also because everything went remote, everything became more scheduled in a way because, people were, because you had no interaction, right? The interaction had become very less. People were at their homes working like that. So everyone had a lot of things going on. Everyone was multitasking at the point. It was not just,
Yes,
I think, work, there was housework, there was, anything, then someone might be following a hobby, so everything became scheduled, I think. And that thing that, you have to be sure that everyone is free or available at the same time. But now as we are moving back, to the hybrid work format, I think unscheduling is going to be a very big part of it, and we need to take chances, like you said, good chances. And yeah, let's over to you, Jagat. Yeah, so I think
super.
that's what.
And also, the audience joining us later on, I will, open up the raise hand. Feel free to join us. I know everyone's
Yes.
at home, and it's totally cool if you have your kids running around. That's totally okay. And I love kids anyway, so that's totally fine. Would love to hear everyone else's views as well. So
Yeah.
let me get back to my the presentation. All right. So this is now like coming to the main part of the presentation, which would be the top three tools that I would suggest for hybrid work. Now, first of all, we have to understand what is work, right? If I'm talking to a painter, or I'm talking to a plumber, or a mechanic, or a program manager, or a developer, the nature of work is very, very different. But I'm going to restrict this conversation because this is again to do with startup founders and CEOs and small teams and stuff like this. And of course, even I would say customer facing roles in large companies where we have clients as well. Uh, but it would typically be something that involves internal and external communication, right? Uh, of course, there's other work that people do. It could be whatever the specific skill, like it could be on your editor, like you're a programmer, or you're working on Illustrator as a designer, or you're on Excel, or on PowerPoint, whatever you might be on. That's your vocation stuff. I'm talking about the communication stuff. And we look at two main things, which is external and internal communications, right? So in companies, when we talk within the company, it is more internal communication. And typically, what we're talking to customers, to community, to prospects, leads, typically they would be external communication, right? And that's really the way we are breaking this up. And our focus is on external communication, as it's always been. And if you kind of zoom out and think, there was Reliance Geo that launched. In the beginning, you could only call, I think, Geo users. Just imagine if every mobile network you could only call within that network, and that you didn't have a permanent ID. That would be a really messy place. So the first thing to look at is that anybody anywhere should be able to contact me just like they contact me on email or phone on video. Now, we look at two main ways that people do it. One could be video chat apps where you already have their contact, and you look at scheduled meeting links where you may not have their video call, video calling number. So what's happening is that these two things are going separately all the time, and that's the big problem, right? So you have on one idea like a WhatsApp where it's connected to your phone number, which is permanent, but you use other meeting links based software, which kind of send ephemeral like links that keep going around, right? So that's the big disconnect. And I'm talking about external, where like if I had to be a customer and I want to meet you, where do I call, right? Where do I come? I want it right now. And then that's really what the customer is always about. And that's what we love about building businesses. We want to be able to cater to the customer right now, here, to the best that we can, in the medium that is best suited. So today the medium is video, but today I cannot call a business on video. Like I just want to click on the salesperson who can show me like the car, or show me the house, or show me the jewelry or whatever, right? So video in an external use case is critical, and that's what I'm going to recommend, the top three tools. There are other things here. You have internal one and internal two. uh, if you're just into using scheduled meeting links with one of the softwares, I would really recommend you to try virtual HQ, which is basically, it's like your office on the screen. And we people can have multiple conversations across. It's like you're sitting on the screen, everyone in their own spaces. I could go and click on, Ayushree, for example, start, having a conversation. Then I would click on Akhil, bring him into the conversation if I wanted to. And then if he had to get out, he could go out. And so we kind of replicating the actual office space, keeping a video first approach. So you should really look at the virtual HQ, which I think is a fantastic product. Second is Vmail for internal communications. Now, we know that I've not even got to the top three. I'm talking about what we could say whatever, what do you call them? Honorary mentions. Okay. So Vmail, if you don't want video meeting fatigue, if you're tired of seeing your own face on video meetings all the time, uh, and you don't want to go back to back meetings, you can use Vmail. Basically, which a video messaging service. You just can take a live video of yourself and shoot out a message to whoever you want to, like a WhatsApp message or whatever. So like an email. So that's called Vmail, video mail. These two are great internal tools. But if I had to look at on the right side, external, and the top, we look at the community. So not everyone's our customer. As a business, as a founder, you're looking at, how do I build today the community around what we do, around what everyone cares for, right? So yeah, that's really what this is about. So the only thing that's being used today, I would say, are video conferencing tools like video meetings and webinars. And we've kind of looked at this whole thing, thinking about how enterprise has already worked, how sales already works, how marketing already works, how customer support already works, and trying to bring all of those processes and those nuances into a video product. And we're probably the first company in the world that has what we call, the video marketing automation. Now, video marketing automation is basically marketing automation plus video technology, powerful combination. For anybody who understands marketing automation, you will know that it is an extremely, it's amazing tool, or a wonderful way to kind of connect with your customers and build prospect list pipelines, really in an automated way. Now you add video to that, it gives you something that's a snowball effect. Okay, and it's just amazing. So I would recommend, one is of course the video marketing automation. The idea is that you could basically craft video customer journeys or video funnels, to attract, let's say you have, from the awareness stage, people don't know about your business at all, and right until becoming customers and becoming loyal customers, to kind of craft that entire journey on video in an automated way. That's what video marketing automation is about. It's an enterprise end product, and I would regularly recommend that if you're really interested in blowing out your pipeline. Right. Second is the V-CRM. It's a video CRM. I think one of the core things of any business is the CRM, and current CRMs are just they have no integration with with what actually matters, which is video, and that's really sad. So we felt that this whole journey, the customer journey, and what's happening, the customers, the pipelines, the deals, all of that stuff, everything comes into one integrated interface. And of course, you can integrate these with your existing CRMs as well. So if you're using, Salesforce or any other, Fresh Sales or whatever. So if you're using any CRM, you can easily integrate the data either from the CRM here, or the leads that you generate here, you could pass it on to your CRM for your reps to go ahead. So V-CRM is really big. And the third, as you know, this is something that people have been doing for a while, and it's very very nice to see a lot of webinars and live streaming. Uh, Now, Jagat, why are you just saying webinars? Well, webinars, I think, are not yet done again the way they should be done. Okay, I think a lot of people resorted to webinars, and we did hundreds of them, and a lot of people did hundreds of them, maybe thousands of them over the past 2 3 years, but they've not replicated the at all the kind of the interaction between an offline customer and or an offline prospect to a loyal customer. It's always been about some information. It's been about some sessions, some webinars, but there is absolutely no science in this webinar process, or the webinar sales, how it actually happens. So at Vidphone, of course, here we have webinars where you can collect payments. You can create automated cleaning of the lists. Also, we are going to we also have webinar campaigns where you're able to have more sustained kind of approach towards webinars, right? So people do webinars sporadically. Once in a while, they do a webinar and they expect to generate traffic. Now, these were all, I think, initial ideas which everybody experimented with, and they are totally, they're totally fine, and that's how it's got to go. But over time is what things really compound, and we have this webinar campaign management. And soon we have things like V ads, which is video ads. I think some really exciting things. So bringing just kind of getting to the top three tools, if I had to really sum up today for a next generation startup or a next generation company or even an organization, or it could be an educational institute. We have other products as well, but I would say that video marketing automation, the video CRM, and the webinars with a difference. Okay, that's for the whole community, and of course, the other parts of your organization are taken care of with the internal. So that's pretty much what I wanted to kind of talk about today, which is some of the key tools that people may be missing out on if they've not kind of already discussed with us or spoken to us. So uh, why do we talk about this again? Yes, there may be a few glitches in the in the software once in a while. I think today with a lot of companies, you do find with the rapid rate at which we are iterating and pushing new builds, one or two things may creep up. But what we can also assure you is that ours is a completely browser-based platform, so that your data is always safe. Okay, so that's a big difference between installing software and what we call download less conferencing. So with Vidphone, you're always guaranteed that all of your data is secure, because we have no client that resides on your devices. You can choose to, but we don't force that upon anybody. So that's pretty much a wrap. I'm happy to have a quick chat again, and then anything after that. Yeah. Am I good? I'm still sharing my screen.
Yes. No, we can see you now. Yeah.
All right. Great. So that's what I had to cover, people. And of course, if you want to try it out for people, it's the website vidphone.me. I'll drop it in the comments. And over to you, Ayushree. Yeah.
Yes.
Your thoughts and maybe what you've kind of learned.
Yeah. No, Jagat. Agreed that and we discussed about this. I think the three hybrid tools, and when we even thought that we would choose this topic, because I know there are a lot of things that can be used, but why these three? Because it's very important that maybe it might not be always possible for an organization or a startup to invest in a lot of tools at the beginning, even though it might help. So if we can make that list shorter and get the maximum benefits out of what we can immediately, because early on investing on tools is very important, because at one point you realize how I mean tech tools like this just make it easier. You can then concentrate. It automates a lot of things too, right? You can then concentrate on, there's so many aspects to your business, I think. And on webinars, I would like to just make a point, even while you and me are doing this today, is because coming and talking to everyone about this is because we want to build that connect, right? I mean, and take everyone's view. I mean, we might have a certain view, but when we because when we talk to others, other founders, and have them on the platform, partnerships, partner with them in different ways, collaborate,
Mhm.
because I really believe collaborations, partnership, and building a community is going to be very crucial in the journey forward for all
Oh yes.
founders or all startups. So webinars are a great way, where it's not just knowledge sharing. There will be a little
Mhm.
knowledge sharing, like you were telling, that it initially started as something like that, and people kept iterating and tried different formats. There might be panels, there might be a lot of knowledge sharing or workshops, but I think going forward,
Roundtables and yeah, a lot
yeah,
of things. So the
yeah,
webinar, the word webinar is basically a web seminar. I think that's how it came
yes,
from. It came from a seminar. So
yeah,
that's probably
yeah,
why it's been used as an instructional tool. And typically,
instruction, yeah,
it's basically I've explained before, and you may
yeah,
know. So it's basically a one-to-many use case where someone's on a stage and then talking,
true,
or it's a group. So that's the difference
true,
between meetings and webinars. But
yeah, obviously, yeah,
as you said,
yeah,
it's right. So it's more about community building, and
yes,
that's why
yes,
if you look, I don't write only webinars. It's really more than that. It's about
yes,
live streaming
yes,
is what we have. Maybe it could be
true,
something else
true,
as well. So again, the
yeah,
raise hand is open. If anybody wants to come
yes,
in,
I think it
please
would,
feel
yeah,
free to
it would
come
be
in.
a,
I'm not sure, like how much more.
yeah,
Maybe we have about 5-10 minutes before we wrap this
yes,
up.
we do. So we can maybe get some, inputs from what others think
In
about
case there
what,
is, yeah, of course,
yeah,
it is
yeah,
short notice for everybody, but yeah, I'm just
yes,
going to keep that open in case they join in. Again, I want to thank Sudeep and Chetak. Thanks a lot, guys, for
yeah,
coming in. Please
yeah,
share the message with your friends so that people can also
yeah,
go ahead. So
yeah,
that's pretty much today's plan, or today's go
yeah,
to market strategy for companies
yeah,
on on this whole hybrid approach, right? So
yeah,
one of the best things about I think Ayushree also doing this is that as we do these sessions and she has
yeah,
joined us and they use the tools, you will
yeah,
actually realize uh, how much easier it is. And
true, true,
what you said is so correct about investing in the tools. Now,
yeah,
uh, one of the guys that I really respect says you should not be cheap on your way to greatness.
yes, yeah,
And many times you've spoken to so many, I'm sure, founders, women founders,
yeah,
and I've
yeah,
met also a ton of them, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
shocking sometimes
yeah,
when people want to make a lot of money, for example, or whatever, build a business, but
yeah,
are not willing to give what it takes
invest,
to actually get there.
true, true,
And that's a very valid point, I think, and that's what
yeah,
we do also. If you look at Vidphone,
yes,
so we
yeah,
also try and take serious technology that probably very very few companies
exactly,
in the world can build at production level quality, and bring, and my goal really as the founder, and our goal probably as an Indian company
yeah,
is how can we really bring the price point down of this, because
yeah,
it actually matters more in India, I would say,
true,
than it matters outside, because
true,
we have a lot of local languages. 90% of India, like you go to
yeah,
Assam's all Assamese, and we have
yeah,
Kannada, and we have so many languages,
yeah,
and that represents 900 million people, 1 billion people, and that's 3 times the population of the United States. So it's very relevant, and I
yeah,
think that's why we do what we do as well. And I'm super excited to do this again. Thanks, Ayushree, also for coordinating this.
yes,
Uh,
thanks,
more
Jagat,
to
yeah.
more to come in the future.
Yeah, yeah. And like you said, Jagat, a lot of scope, a lot of potential, lot of talent, lot has been happening in the tier two
Mhm.
cities, that we call. And, they're the vernacular thing where they may not know that tools like this, how can that impact a business, So that is where our communities also should, we should aim, like to get
Absolutely.
all of them to the community. And like you said, like you had mentioned and you have been saying, de-risk and simplify the startup journey. I think that's what the aim is,
Yeah,
right, with the right tools.
I think
So
that's much
yes,
needed. I
yeah,
think
it is much needed. Yeah,
if you look at the education system,
yeah,
uh, like people go through. I think, nowadays kids are going to school at 2 years old, 2.5 years old, like the pre-prep, whatever you call it. So
yes,
2.5 until you're 22,
yeah,
22 years of life, 20 years of life, people spend to kind of de-risk themselves,
yes, yes,
correct?
true.
And that's the reality of it. You go
Yeah,
to college, and all of this is for what? Is to get, for example, a job,
yeah, yeah,
and all of that is to de-risk life. Now,
yeah, yeah,
that's a lot. The 20 years is a lot of time
yeah,
to try and de-risk. And today the whole plan has fallen on its face with all
yes,
of the recession and everything. So yeah, absolutely, and that's our mission here. And the way that
yeah,
we like to do it is directly through the technology. There are a
yes,
lot of, and I think there are, as we mentioned in the beginning, so many organizations. You are part of
Yeah.
CWE for the women
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
For you have NASCOM, you have TI,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
KDM, you have
Yeah.
a lot of organizations now. All
True.
have the connects, the networking, and they do a great job. And I think
Yeah.
all of this is built today in India because of a lot of support from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But increasingly, you will need technology that just does it. And
True.
and that's pretty much what we're building.
I think
And
to scale, ultimately the scale would come when we use technology, or else there
absolutely,
would always be some limitation. And I've seen it in my work, like, over the last 4 years, I've seen how, due to lack of technology, things have been limited.
yes.
Like certain
Oh
things,
yeah, we
certain
could not even order
opportunities.
food in the pandemic if there's no Swiggy or Dunzo or something. So Zomato or whatever. So
Yeah.
totally, and that's part of our mission. So it's also
Yes.
getting dinner time. Not for me. I eat much later, but maybe for everybody else.
Yeah.
So till next time, again, thank you, and feel free to spread the good word, guys. Thanks, Ayushree, again.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Jagat.
All
Thank
right.
you, everyone, for joining us today. See you soon. Yeah. Thank you.